No bye, no aloha. Gone with a rock promoter.
I ordered Uber Eats for the very first time today.
What'd you get?
Chicken katsu curry.
I like the Uber Eats better than Bite Squad because you can like see where they are
Yeah, I like that
and
a
like
lot.
you know why it's taking so long. But the thing is for some reason they've like taken like half the restaurants off of Bites or Uber Eats.
Really?
Yeah, Bite Squad has way more of a selection. Like I
I-
used to get Uber Eats from what's that place in Waikiki? Yard House because they have like the whole Gardein
Yeah,
menu.
yeah.
And now Uber Eats doesn't go there anymore.
I wonder why. Well, I mean, working at a restaurant, I hate them.
Oh yeah, hell no.
I hate
delivery.
Uber Eats or any of those things. But then, when I'm at home, I love
Yeah.
them. I want to use them. So it's like it's kind of what is it? It's like a double-edged sword or something.
Yeah, and the
or
worst
whatever.
ones are the freaking what's the one that they come in and they order for the person?
Yeah. Shoot. So there's like Uber Eats, Bite Squad. What are they?
DoorDash.
DoorDash.
Hey,
DoorDash.
DoorDash is like one of those people like are always in a freaking hurry and they're always rude and they always don't understand when we're out of things. They're like the worst.
Yeah. And the funny thing too is they'll come in, they'll be like, "Can I get a vegan this?" And I'm like, "Okay, so vegan everything." Oh, well, no, actually, blah 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 blah.
I got a
Whatever.
complaint too. One time they were like, she wants a blat and then she wants toasted bread. I was like a side of toast. Yeah, I think so. And then I got a phone call from them like, no, we wanted our bread toasted in our
Yeah,
sandwich. I'm
of
like,
course,
oh,
of
okay.
course. But it was cool because I almost felt like the interaction wasn't complete because everything's on the phone, right? So you're like, you order on the phone, you don't talk to the person at all,
Right.
and then it's like, okay, your order's being cooked, your order's got picked up, your order's on the way, you can see where they are on the
Yeah.
road, and then it's like, okay, they're here, just come on downstairs now. And then I go downstairs, and then she's like, "Hi, are you Nick?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Okay, here you go, see ya," and then just drives away, and I'm like, it feels weird not paying or even signing.
Yeah, and it's 'cause
'Cause-
that's all on your debit card. But
Yeah.
you can tip
You can tip
the
ahead
driver,
of time.
but I don't know if you can tip like the restaurant. The people put it together.
Oh.
So you can tip the driver. Because Gabe's looking into doing Uber Eats because he doesn't really want to drive people around. And also
Yeah.
we only have a 2-door car. We don't have a 4-door car.
Right.
But yeah, you can tip the driver, but I don't know if you can actually tip the restaurant.
Yeah. I never even
Which
thought
I worked
about that.
at California Pizza Kitchen for like a short period of time in Kailua and had to do takeout for like my first month as like training. And takeout's fucking terrible.
Wait, that was there's a whole job.
Yeah,
that just
because there's
does
so
takeout?
much takeout that comes out. We would get like, I'd say like 70 something takeout orders a night, and
Wow.
you have to keep them all organized. And like Bite Squad also would like come get some stuff, but like it was always like it was so crazy. They had like a call center service people to call, and then the call center like puts it in and just comes up on our printer.
Oh man,
And
so
then-
they're almost legit a delivery spot or
Yeah,
not,
or a
but
takeout. Yeah,
takeout,
so
not
there's a
delivery,
whole
but-
nother counter at like all the CBKs. The Kahala one is like the best setup. But yeah, there's like a whole separate thing for takeout, and it's like so stressful. And like you have to put things together, and there's like and with pizza and salads and stuff, they keep stuff separate, so you have to know what toppings go on what. So you're like more or less like a kitchen job than
You
anything.
said 12 years ago?
No,
Oh.
I said well, there's pizzas and
No, I thought you said you worked there 12 years ago.
no, for like I said like like a short period of time in Kailua.
Oh.
And
I don't know why I heard 12 years ago.
It was
Because I was like, wait, how long have you been
It was
in
like
Hawaii?
5 years ago, 6 years.
6 years.
Yep. So I hit my 6-year mark last month.
Maybe I was just thinking to myself, how long have you been in Hawaii? And then for some reason, I thought I heard you say 12 years ago.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Did you, you just went back to Florida.
Yep.
Was that your first time back?
No, I used to
Okay.
go home. I used to go back once a year. It's been 2 years though, because I had to go for like a couple weddings. But it's Gabe's first time,
Yeah.
so that was super exciting. It was really hot. It was so freaking hot.
What area?
Jacksonville.
That's right.
But
That's what I thought.
the wedding we were at is in St. Augustine, so we were between both.
That's where Jackrabbits is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Which is so weird because I think we talked about it before, but like there's no way that we weren't both at Jackrabbits at the same time.
That would have been crazy.
'Cause that's
I
like one of
wish I
my-
could-
How long ago was that for you?
So when El Caminos played there, it would have had to been 2006 or 7 maybe.
So I was like like a freshman or sophomore in high school, and that's Jackrabbits was the only place our moms would like let us go and not stay with us. It was really actually cute, Jackrabbits especially, and this other place, Fuel Coffee House. Our moms used to like take us and then come into the show with us because we were like 13, 14, and then eventually they would come, drop us off, go eat down the street, come back and get us, and then finally they would drop us off and let us ride back with the boys. And Jackrabbits was the place, like once my mom finally let us like go with the boys, like who could drive. That was the only place I was allowed to go. So I used to go to Jackrabbits every single weekend, whether I knew the band or not, because I was like, oh, I'm 14.
Yeah, I wonder.
And I can go to Jackrabbits.
So, yeah, you were, because we played there, and then it had to be maybe like 2007 or 8. I would have been there again with Left Alone.
And then didn't Ashley also hang out there?
Ashley Allison.
Yeah,
I think
just so
I think
funny.
we met her there on the Hell Caminos tour.
Small world. I've like met more people who are like somehow associated with Jacksonville and Hawaii than I think I knew in Jacksonville.
That's crazy. It's like whenever people talk about a certain town, I'm like, oh, the venue, because that's all
Right,
that's
absolutely,
all I
yeah.
can relate to, because it's touring. It's rad to go so many places, but then it's also a little bit ridiculous because every day is about the same.
Yeah.
Like wake up, go to a venue, set up, sound check, maybe walk around a little bit around the venue. At Jackrabbits, luckily there was this kid, and he'd shown up really early, and he's like, yo, after you guys are done with sound check, if any of you guys want to get tattooed, he's like, come with
crazy.
me and I'll tattoo you guys for free. And so there was only enough time for like 2 like palm sized tattoos. He couldn't do like everybody,
Right.
but he was like, whoever wants. And we'd kind of get that offer, not all the time, but we got it a few times. And so this particular time, it just happened to be that it was like going to be the keyboard and the drummer's turn, because I think me and the singer had gotten tattooed the last stop, and we're
That's
like,
so
okay,
crazy.
you guys, but again, not like all the time, but
Yeah.
occasionally, like
Little
even
perk.
when I moved back to Hawaii and I met Shay for the first time, my ex-girlfriend worked at Black Cat, or my girlfriend at the time worked at Black Cat, and she was like, oh yeah, this guy's, he is when he was just first starting to be a guest artist in Hawaii,
Oh, wow.
and he just started his traveling and came out, and he somehow found out about Left Alone. He's like, oh really? He's like, let him know, come in and get a tattoo, I'll give him a tattoo because I like that
Oh,
band.
that's so cute.
But like, it's just, that is
And now Shay tattoos all of you guys all the time.
yeah. It was crazy too, because when he first started tattooing, he gave me a tattoo and he's like, if you keep on sending me people, I'll give you great deals. And I was like, okay, so yeah, why not? And so like, I was working in Downbeat Kitchen at the time, and everybody in the kitchen would like go to him and they're like, dude, this guy's sick, he hooks it up, like just blew him up like that. Like
I love that about like how our like little scene takes care of each other like that, because same thing. I mean, I've only worked in Chinatown for like what, 2 years, and I already like I have like friends like that.
yeah, it's fun. Did you hang out in Chinatown much when you first got here?
When I first got here, we went to Chinatown for Hullabaloo when I was like 22. Yeah, I just turned 22, and then I went again. It was like after the Art After Dark Halloween thing they do, like maybe like 3 years later. And then when Gabe and I started dating, he brought me to Downbeat to get actually food, because the
He's a
vegan wings.
vegetarian.
Yeah. And we used to like come into just Chinatown just for Downbeat, like I'd say like once a month for like 2 years, like 2 or 3 years before I actually started hanging out in Chinatown and working in Chinatown.
Did you feel like there was a lot of vegetarian restaurants when you, did you just start yours?
I didn't become vegetarian until after Gabe and I had started dating. Gabe and I have been dating for like almost 4 years.
Yeah. Did you feel like there were a lot of vegetarian spots back like 3-4 years ago?
Well, for me, because I'd never really been looking for it before, I didn't like have a reference point. So basically, like Gabe was like, "Oh, here, let's go here, 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 here." So he knew all the places, so it felt like a normal amount to me.
Yeah.
And then when I went home to Jacksonville, I realized they had opened a ton of vegetarian places.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I did notice it then that it's like in the past 4 years, it's been a lot more places. But Gabe and I were talking about this too the other day, that it's so easy to be a vegan or vegetarian right now,
Totally.
because there's way more products now than there has ever been ever. Like even just 2 years
Burger
ago.
King,
Yeah, hello
even.
Burger King, Impossible Burger, and KFC. I told you is getting the freaking Beyond Meat chicken, which my only two vices that I ever like dream about is Kahlua pork and fried chicken. Those are the only two things I miss at all. And like the picture of like the Beyond Meat chicken, it looks like freaking chicken, dude. And it's like crispy, because like a lot of the times vegan chicken options are like spongy and like the and even if you deep fry it, it's still like a like soft particle, like it's not like a big piece of skin.
I definitely,
which sounds gross.
Did you ever have you ever have the unturkey? That one.
No. That's
a good one. If it if they still make it, I don't know, because I've been eating meat now for several years. But
just kidding.
When I was vegan, I remember going on tour, and you would start in California, and you're like, easy, all the vegan spots. And you get through Arizona, and you're like, it's all right. You get to Texas, and it's like Austin, you're fine, but everywhere else you're screwed. And then going through the South, you're screwed. You're screwed. Yeah. You're screwed. You're screwed. Like I would go to like, I don't know, we'd go to Walmart and I'd get cans of asparagus, and like I remember the asparagus I really liked, but like canned foods.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that's how we. Well, I mean the rest of the guys, I think there was 2 vegetarians and 2 not, but that's how we'd get through. We'd just be like, all right, we're just gonna eat canned fruits and vegetables, and then I remember getting to Florida, and I don't remember what town it was. I think it was a southernmore town that we started in, but the first day in Florida, and I was like, walked into this coffee shop or something, and they had vegan mac and cheese, and I was like, oh my god, yes, finally to the coast again. That was rough though. I almost would like reminisce on the old days of when it was hard to be vegan.
Yeah, like you had to put the work in.
Yeah, but I feel that way about everything, like music or like
right. You're not a guy who likes people getting handed things.
Yeah, I like I even like food that I have to work for a little bit. Like
that's why my vice is crab legs.
Oh yeah, but you eat.
I don't eat seafood often. I try not to, because like I don't know, it's kind of like a cop out on my part, but like definitely I was full vegetarian for like 2 years, and then I was really hungover. I was like sleeping on Lily's floor, and I woke up and I looked at her and I was like, let's go get crab legs right now. I like broke, and then since then I don't eat fish like all the time. I definitely don't bring fish into the house because Gabe doesn't eat any meat at all. But yeah, that's like my little vice. But crab legs, working for it. Something so satisfying about it.
That's why I like chicken wings, or like even like pick your own shrimp. Like when you have to peel. Yeah. Crab legs though. Oh man, or lobster. I love all that stuff.
Damn, camera doesn't work at Red Lobster anymore, so.
That's all right. There's
the discount anymore.
There's that what's that spot? It's like the crab boil spot in Kakako.
Kraken Kitchen. Once, like every now and then, Janelle and I will like break crazy and go get crab legs. We got Annie on it too, because Annie's also supposed to be vegetarian. But it's like her vice too. So the 3 of us will go and just like demolish. But
okay. But what I miss a lot is back in the day. I don't know if you have like the vegetarian crews now, because we used to we'd have a big group of friends that we're friends because we're all vegans, and we'd do like
a Facebook group.
It was just because you wanted to feel normal and because now
everyone's freaking vegetarian.
You can go out and you can be like, okay, there's a vegan, a vegetarian, and a meat eater, and they can all eat at any given restaurant.
Yeah, that's something that surprised me too, along with the new products for vegetarians and vegans, is that restaurants are doing a lot better, like having multiple options. So like Gabe and I, like we're really laid back. Like if we get invited to a dinner and there's like no vegetarian meal option, we'll just order a bunch of sides. Like we're super easygoing. We're not like, we're really not hard to take to dinner with you. But when it's just he and I going out, we won't really go somewhere unless they have like options, not just like one thing we can get. You know what I mean? I want to have like 3 things I can choose from. And then, but like I said, like we're not crazy about it. But lately now, especially in the past 2 years, almost every restaurant we go to has multiple options. Or like people are willing, like, just take the bacon out of it, like whatever. Yeah. Or that really wasn't a thing before, I don't feel like.
So it's cool, and it's awesome for the vegetarians now, but that's something that I feel like gets missed, because we would have like vegan Thanksgiving, and you'd have like we'd have like a load of friends, and even non-vegans would come.
Right.
And like everybody would make something, and it was super fun. So that was when we got the unturkey. So if you see it this year, around Thanksgiving time, definitely try that. What's it like? What's the is it like slices, or is it like a loaf? No, it's like, so there's like tofurkey.
Right.
Those are all right.
Yeah.
And then there's the harvest roast, and those are all right.
Harvest roast is like super good, but it's so heavy.
But the unturkey is far superior.
Is it like a loaf or like slices?
No, it's like a tofurkey, like the way
Oh,
it comes
okay, yeah.
as one, but it's quite a bit bigger. Like it could easily feed like 4 people.
We have sorry, I'm burping. We have the new tofurkey ham, and we got it like a couple months ago. It's in our freezer. It's like something you have to like, do the whole thing if you can do ham, but it's like looks like a ham, and it even has like the ropes around it to like give it like so it looks like a ham. I haven't tried that one yet, but yeah, I think it's tofurkey, but they've had kind of rebranded, so they have like a bunch of products now that just like the loaves or whatever.
I almost miss being vegetarian sometimes, but like when was it? Maybe about a couple years, 2 years ago, or no, maybe a year and a half ago. Me and Evan were trying to be vegetarian for a little bit.
I remember we were supposed to have dinners, and then we didn't because you guys gave up after like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's too hard to go back. It's one. I feel like when you can be vegetarian all you want, but then once you go back to eating meat and you taste like a steak or a hamburger, or you're just like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
I don't know, man. That Beyond Burger is like so good now.
They're good.
It's so good. We've got so they have like the patties, but now they have like ground beef, and there's like bits of like coconut oil, like to make it look marbled.
Oh.
It's insane, dude. And you just cook it like ground beef, like brown it. But we got manwich, and we had manwiches the other night.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was so good, and like the texture is like, I don't know. I guess I haven't had ground beef in 4 years, but as far as I remember.
Yeah, that's the
It's
thing is
the
you
same thing.
get brainwashed when you're vegetarian.
Absolutely.
And you forget.
Well, for example, before I became vegetarian, I did not like tofu. I don't like the texture. It creeps me out. Didn't like it. Hate it. I don't care how you prepared it. And I don't mean like tofu products, but like actual like
tofu itself.
Like tofu itself. Not about it. Like 3 months into being vegetarian, I'm like, oh, tofu chuck? Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
I used to
Chilled
like tofu a
yeah.
lot. That's what I like. Is if you get like if you go to a Japanese restaurant and get tofu, that's bomb.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. You were asking about if I noticed like a lot of vegetarian places. That's the big thing is it's really easy for like Asian places to be vegetarian because the flavors already go along with that soy product taste.
Yeah.
And so for a long time, you get like it's just like Chinese vegetarian, like vegetarian Chinese. It's just like that. Actually, that's the number one. Mini Garden. Woo, love me some Mini Garden. But
I was gonna ask if you eat in there. Yeah.
The flavors go along together. And even when we were in Florida, Gabe, we went to my favorite like rooftop restaurant called Black Sheep, and they didn't have the vegetarian options 2 years ago when I was there. But he got like there's like 3 options. You could get miso eggplant, tempeh, and then something else in place of the meat on any of their dishes, pretty much. And they would cook it as if it was the meat or whatever. So that was cool. So I could eat something that was on the menu, but the tempeh. But Gabe got the eggplant because that goes, and it was like a miso eggplant with like an Asian dish because that goes along together. In the past 2 years, there's been other places besides just Asian.
That they're using eggplant?
No, that as options, like vegetarian restaurants. Like,
oh, right.
Like it's not just, I can only get like, veggie sushi.
Yep.
Or I can only get,
Because that was back in the day we had like it was either like a weekly or monthly like barbecue at a friend's house, and it was always like all the vegans get together. And then I worked at a little spot called Well Bento, which was over in Puck's Alley. That place was so bomb. It was super fun. Like everybody from like the punk scene would go there, but like it was all of this crew of people that I would see everywhere, and I still see a lot of them at Downbeat to this day. I worked at a place called Hale, which is a vegan macrobiotic spot, and then I worked at that grocery store that's next to what's it called, Kokua Market.
Yeah. And I used to live right behind there.
And yeah. And then I would go to Down to Earth a lot.
To Down to Earth.
I would always see all of the same, obviously, like all the vegetarians.
Oh yeah,
right?
Us too for sure. We like see the same
those people all
like,
the time
in vegan restaurants and vegetarians. We like people we don't know them, but we're like, hey.
I know, right? It's funny. It's funny. Like I brought it up to the regulars that have like the little dog.
Yeah, I love them. Taco Tuesday.
And I remember I saw them, and I was just like, you guys, I've seen you. Like, we've never even talked about it, but like, I remember serving you when I worked at Hale, and I was like, do you remember going to Hale? And they're like, oh my God. Yeah. But the thing is I was like, I hate to say it, but I was like, I remember you because of the dog. And they were like, well, yeah, and I was like,
It's cute.
dude, when I see dogs on the street, I'll talk to them, but I won't even acknowledge the owners.
Dude, the best thing ever about my Gabe and I's relationship is we'll be in the car and always one of us is like, look, a dog, look, a dog. Like, it makes my whole day.
It's so funny. Yeah, whenever I see dogs, I just talk to them like I know them or something. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, dude?
At my house,
Blah, 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 blah.
Janelle isn't Janelle, she's Scooby's mom.
Yeah.
And like when we told Leela that Janelle was pregnant, we were like, Scooby's mom's pregnant.
Yeah, that's funny.
I definitely associate people with their dogs. And cats too. I mean, you can be Slurm's dad from here on
Yeah.
out.
I wish I could have a dog, but I would have to move.
Yeah, that's it. We kind of want to get a cat just because, I mean, hello, even if you can't have a cat, you can have a cat.
Yeah.
But like, I really, 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 really want a puppy. And we go to the Humane Society like at least once a month, just so Leela can just like play with the cats and stuff. But every time there, I'm like, I can take you home right now.
Yeah, why not?
Because we can't have a dog.
No, a cat.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get a cat. We're waiting until we're like a little more settled.
They're so
We
easy.
moved in 4 days ago.
Yeah, yeah. I got a cat pretty quickly after I moved in here. It was when I found this place. Cody was in the mainland. I was like, hey, I found this spot. It's really cool. And I was like, but if you want to be my roommate, I'm gonna get a cat. And he's all like, yeah, it's cool. He's like, get a cat, whatever. Screw it. It's awesome. And I'm trying to think if I had her. No, I got her a little while after moving in. Just a little bit after, like maybe a month or two. I did settle in for a while.
Mm.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's cool because like I came in today, I walked in the front door and Blanche was sitting on the couch like this with her legs all out.
I've seen her sit like that.
And she was just sitting with her back up and her God, they're hilarious.
Their little rivalry is like my favorite thing. I love it.
It's good. I mean, like, it's good to adopt any animal for sure. And going, obviously, like the Humane Society, it's great to take the ones that are older and that nobody's
Yeah.
going to want and stuff.
That's what I was telling Leela too. I'm trying to get this older cat. Just like this big black and white one. It's like huge. I really want it.
I get sketched out on animals that are too old because who knows what they've been through and who
Yeah.
knows, like, they might have a little weird thing about them or they might, like, cats are slurms. When we rearrange the house, she'll piss on stuff because she's
Yeah.
pissed off.
Or it's you and you're blaming Slurms. So.
When Cody moved,
Oh yeah, I remember when Cody moved. She peed on
She
like
was-
everything. I remember that.
she was peeing on everything.
Did you get Slurms as a kitten?
Yeah.
Oh, like baby kitten, baby.
Pretty small.
Yeah.
Pretty small. Like, I mean, she could have only been a few months old. But then Blanche was a little bit older when KK got her. I think she was probably full grown.
Oh.
Yeah, she wasn't.
Well, you'd think that one was her mom. You think KK was Blanche's mom. The way she follows her around and stuff, that surprises me.
Yeah, it's funny. But, yeah, I mean, it's hard to get a bond going also with the Humane Society kittens because if you think about it, if they've only been there for a couple days, like if their bellies are still shaved,
Mhm.
they might be full of drugs still. And they
Yeah.
might be acting a little bit different. So when I went in, we were hanging out, and it was me, and I met Slurms, and then all her brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
But Slurms was, like, interested in us. And then she was playing with the other cats. She was having a fun time with the other cats.
Mm-hmm.
Brought her home, and then soon after that, Kanan moved back to Hawaii, and he stayed with us for a little bit, and his dog, Doug.
I love Doug.
And Slurms loved Doug.
That's Doug's dad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dude.
But yeah, but did Doug and Slurms get along?
They got along great.
That's
But
awesome.
Doug was terrified of Slurms.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, because apparently one time Doug was out playing I don't know what the situation was, but basically a cat attacked him.
Oh, he was, like, traumatized.
Was like claws in, and Doug was like running around screaming with the cat still on him.
Oh god.
So he's terrified of cats. But Slurms, we'd like go out and come back and find them cuddled up next to each other.
Oh my god. I bet that was the cutest thing ever.
Yes.
I love Slurms.
So I had
How old is Slurms now?
She's got to be like,
I know I keep looking at the closet. She might not be in that closet anymore.
I know,
Do you
yeah.
think she is?
how old is Slurms? Like 3 years old, maybe. I think she's about 3 years old. But I had really high hopes for her and Blanche getting along, when
Yeah, I thought they were too. Like, I remember when, like, you finally, like, this was, like, Blanche's room and, like, put them together. I was like, they're going to get along. So I asked you earlier, I was like, you caught them cuddling yet? And like, no, hell no.
No.
Hell no.
We catch them staring at each other a lot. Like, they'll be, like, just, like, a couple feet from each other, just staring each other down. But, yeah, maybe someday. Maybe someday.
It's okay, because making faces at me.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh. How's the draft going? BBJ's
I thought he was going,
drafting.
oh,
his,
that's your laundry going off. Wait, can we pause so I can get another beer?
No, we'll get you another beer. Just keep on talking.
Okay. I don't know how this works.
Same flavor.
Sierra
Yes,
Pale.
please.
What was I thinking about? There's something I was thinking about asking you.
Oh, I was going to plug my new favorite vegan place earlier, and I totally forgot. Tane.
Where's that?
It's vegan sushi, but it's not like, when you think vegan sushi, it's like, okay, what, like a cucumber roll? It's not like that at all. They like cure like pumpkin, squash, watermelon, tofu. They cure it to be like fish. So it's like every single kind. Thank you.
Damn, I didn't know you had the blue light on. It's nice though.
But it like they cure it to like taste like fish. So it's not, you're like, you feel like you're like I like being included. My favorite thing is vegetarians being included.
Yeah.
So like even like if I go to cookouts, like I'll make sure I bring like a burger so we can cook it on the grill. Like I'm also getting a steak like everyone else is.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I like I said, but it's delicious. If you ever go get the wedge, it's the best roll. But they also have like vegan California rolls, vegan spicy tuna rolls.
Whoa.
And so it's like vegan.
What would that be, like beet maybe? Or what would
Yeah,
you use?
I think so. It's crazy. It's so good. I've never gotten anything there. Whoops, I'm getting passionate. That I didn't like. It's like my new like freaking favorite vegetarian place. Oh, it's vegan, I guess, in Hawaii for sure.
Do you cook a lot?
Yes, we cook a lot. We're gonna cook even more now that like we don't have a roommate anymore. My roommate used to go to Guam all the time, so when he's gone, we cook like every single night. We have started using, if we're gonna cook, primarily Beyond Meat products, because it's all plant based. There's no like gluten, soy. Sometimes we like, if I eat a lot of like vegan bacon, like Morningstar, which I do, or their sausage, like you start feeling like crap because it's like so much like soy. It's like kind of overload.
Yeah, I try to stay away from soy a lot, actually.
But so we've been using Beyond Meat, but something he and I have talked about recently is we really want to venture out into using alternatives, like real food alternatives rather than processed.
Yep.
So like we have both of us love to read recipes, and like I love those tasty videos on Instagram, just like at least to get ideas, because there's some things that are thought of, like what you can do with eggplant, what you can do like portobello mushrooms, you can make literally taste like anything. So like that's what we're like trying to like with this new place that we have in our own kitchen, that we can like try to start using less of the processed stuff.
As much as we're saying like fuck soy, I remember this one time I always wanted fried stuff, and it's like everywhere you would go, it'd be like, oh, they put meat in the fryer.
Yes,
I'm not gonna eat it. Right?
Gabe won't eat at Yard House anymore.
Because they put meat in the fryer.
Yeah, he wanted to deal with some girl.
So
we were broken up, and he asked the girl, and he was like, "Oh, I have a question. Do you put your Gardein products in the same fryer as your meat products?" She's like, "Oh yeah," and he was like, "Okay, never mind." And there's other stuff you can get there. It's like they have really freaking bomb vegan wings, or not, they're not wings. I think it's just
strips
like
or something.
Strips, yeah, they're so freaking good. And so I'll get them, and he won't eat them.
Damn. But I remember this one time I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a deep Friday party, because I wanted to deep fry some stuff, and it was just super fun because I was vegan, and I took this tofu and I put it in the freezer. You ever do that?
You were telling me about this. I've never done it, but you were telling me about it.
So it's like, it turns the tofu like more spongy, because as the water expands.
Do you use water, or do you use like fake chicken
you just
stock?
well, yeah, that would work. That would be probably better.
Down to Earth has this like no chicken stock, but it tastes like chicken stock.
That's like,
I use it all my soups, everything.
So I use some of that, but I don't know if I put it in ahead of time. But you put the tofu in the freezer, and then you pull it out, let it thaw, and yeah, it's like exploded it kind of. And you can do it like a few times, and it'll keep just opening that tofu up.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. And then so I did the that tofu, or that chicken stock, and I soaked it in there, and then I breaded it and fried it like a chicken fried steak, and it was bomb.
I just miss fried chicken.
Maybe I'll try and make some one time.
Dude, you should.
It was real. I thought
I've
it was
seen-
really good, but
I've
again,
like, seen videos, like recipes and stuff where people like do that, but I've just like never done it myself. Like,
It's
there's a
pretty
way
cool.
you can do it enough that it just pulls apart,
yeah, it kind of does.
which is like.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how the texture changes quite
I
a
love
bit.
not to plug down me, but I love our freaking vegan wings because of the texture. Like, that's like a huge
Yeah.
thing.
Well, you
The-
and every single
The
person
texture's
that walks
so
in the door.
freaking. It's like it's just crazy. It's like I feel like it's chicken, but the thing is, it's like it's still not fried chicken. So
No,
I need
it's
KFC
not,
to
like-
hurry up and get their fried chicken.
You know what I
ready.
wonder is if you took a vegan wing and breaded it and deep fried it,
Yeah.
if that would be more of like that fried chicken thing.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to give that idea out, and then somebody's
No,
like,
please don't order that.
yeah, and somebody tries to make it, or like, I don't know. That's
Oh
just
my god! Someone friggin' told some customer that like if you get the vegan wings and then coat them and then fry them again and then coat them again, they're better. So there was like a period of time, like for 2 weeks, I had like 7 people ask for that for them to be double fried.
really.
Yeah, and I'm like, who told? Just don't tell people that.
Oh.
Because it makes the oil all like
Yeah.
gross and stuff, and you have to like change it. And I was like, oh my god, who's telling people that? Don't order that.
That's funny.
I've never had it. I don't know if it's better, but I was like, what the hell is going on here? Who's telling secrets?
What So you worked at Board Riders for a while, right?
Oh god, like 4 years.
For 4 years you
Yeah.
worked there? That's so crazy.
That was my first real bartending job. When I lived in Florida, I worked at a restaurant that was just beer and wine. So your bartending shift is just pouring beer and wine,
Yeah.
and then also basically just like helping out kind of situation. So that was my first bartending job. But I moved to Hawaii and I got a job at Formaggio, like within 3 months of living in Kailua. And I took like the first 2 months just like settle in or whatever. And things were going great there, and I became a bartender there. And so like my first introduction to bartending was like martinis, Cosmos, mojitos, like, you know, restaurant bartending.
Yeah.
And then the guy who owns Formaggio also owns Board Riders. So he was like, hey, I got some shifts open. Can you just come train on your own time for free? Because I was a sucker and I was 22, and if that's what you do when you're 22, you train for free. It's like, just go learn that way. If I ever need you to pick up, you can. And then a year into like just like being on like helping out at Board Riders, they're like, oh, here you go, you can bartend. I was like a door girl. Like Gabe remembers seeing me when I was like a door girl at Board Riders, which is insane. Yeah, and then I started bartending there, and I did that for 4 years.
Black Square used to play there a bunch. Did they ever play there when you worked there?
No, they didn't. But the thing is, we had these signs we had to put up, and you had to go through them. And I saw Black Square in there. There's another band that plays at Downbeat all the time. But
We played there a lot. Maybe almost like once or twice a month for a while.
because isn't I know the brother. I don't know the member of Black Square. They live in Kailua, don't they?
Babyface.
Maybe. His brother Jordan, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's his real
I
name?
know, don't they have that? And they do the 4th of July party in Kailua.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
house. Okay, so that makes sense.
Evan.
Oh.
I had to think for a while, like, wait, what's his actual name? His name's not really Babyface. But we played there a bunch, and one night, Josh was on the mic, and he's like, there couldn't have been that many people there, but he was like, after this, we're all going swimming in the marsh.
Oh God.
And we
Did you?
We got done.
God.
And we were like, all right, everybody, let's go. We're swimming in the marsh. And we were like, oh, fuck, I guess we're doing this. And it was like,
Dude, every time it rains, it smells so. I used to live on the marsh.
it smells like just somebody just hasn't been flushing the toilet for a while. And that's what that marsh is. Like,
God.
it's so gross. And Josh was like, come on, we're doing it. Get in. And we all like just stripped down to our boxers and like just, all right, and kind of jumped in. And I just remember like being like, oh, it tastes like hot garbage water.
Ew, why are you tasting it?
I didn't taste it on purpose. But dude, that Hamakua Marsh. Oof.
Oh, something cool about Board Riders is, when I first moved here, I lived in Kailua for 4 years, and like you asked me before, I didn't really venture into town ever because I was like in my own little bubble, and I didn't really realize there's any kind of like punk or hardcore scene at all
yeah.
because I'm in Kailua, like whatever. And I'll never forget, I got called in just to do the satellite bar, which is like this like rolling bar that's like next to the door, and we just do canned beer and like fireball shots and Vegas bombs, like that's
Yeah.
all that was there or whatever. And I got called in because it got crazy in another bar, and it was misdemeanor. And I was like, what the? where
Whoa.
what? This is in Hawaii. Like, had no idea. And ended up after the show, like, chit-chatting with, what's the lead singer's name? You just had
Warren.
him. Warren, yeah. And, like, chit-chatting with Warren, and, like, I know, like, his wife, girlfriend. Anyways, I'm
Yeah,
like,
wife.
and I was, like, talking to him, and I was like, oh, it's crazy. I didn't know there was this scene out here. And I'm, like, 23 at this point, like, little baby Jasmine. And then I started working at Downbeat. And the first time Mr. Meter played and I bartended, I was like, oh my God, this is like full circle. And I
That's crazy.
went to Warren and I told him, he remembered me. He was like, oh my God, I remember you working at Board Riders when we played there.
Dude.
And they hadn't played at Board Riders in like 4 years
Oh, damn.
when I saw him. So it was like, it was
Perfect
like little
timing.
baby Jasmine. And then slightly less baby Jasmine.
It blows my mind when people come to a show and then they say, wow, I didn't know, I've lived here for X amount
Yeah.
of years and I didn't know this exists. And I'm like, really? But I guess I can understand it in a way, but at the same time, I don't understand it at all. Like, all you have to do is just get on like Facebook or Instagram
Yeah.
and type like Hawaii punk and you'll find something and that'll lead to something else. And
Right.
it's like, there's definitely,
I think it's one of those things that you don't think to look for it until like you come across it. Like, I was stoked when I found Downbeat. I was like, and the thing is, all the time people, we were talking about this the other day, that like some people know the lounge and some people know the diner. I don't know both.
Yeah, that's
and
funny.
I love when people like come in the lounge and they're like, you have a restaurant over there, or like they'll be in the diner and they're like, is that a punk show over there? I'm like, yeah, yes.
yeah, you come here all the time.
It's Friday night. Hello, come on.
Yeah, I guess you get like stuck in your groove of like whatever your life groove is, and you're like, this is the one that I always go down.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up in IAEA, I never would go to town, and I would never really leave that
Yeah.
little area. And so I had this buddy named Leonard, and he moved to Kailua, and he started, I think he went to like Castle or something. I forget which school he went to, but anyway, I was like, well, he's out of my life now.
Yeah, he's might as well be dead.
Like, and then one time, somehow we like got a hold of each other and he was like, yo, you want to come over for the weekend? And I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in years. But I think like childhood time moves at a different pace than
Yeah,
adult. You
yeah.
know, like, I mean, it does. It really does. Like, it even, you know, it's all relative, right? You've only been alive for this long. So like
Right.
a day is just still like that slice of how long you've been alive. Like now it's like weeks roll by and I'm like, yeah, whatever. That
Yeah,
felt-
whatever. But
felt
when
like
you're a
day.
kid, it's like a week is like the longest.
So
ever.
I felt like I hadn't seen this guy in so long. And we ended up, he's like, this is like the biggest adventure of my life at this point, I think. And
How old are you?
Maybe like, so we went to 6th grade together. So maybe I was like in like 7th or 8th grade.
So like 13, 14.
Yeah. And he's like, yo, I got this friend. He lives on Coconut Island. Do you know where that is? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm
And like, if you don't know what Coconut Island is, it's just like right outside of Kaneohe, I think, right?
Yeah.
Is where it is. And it's like this little island, and people live there, but you got to take a boat to get there.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, you can't.
There's
drive
like part
to
of it. Isn't part of it like a reservation or like for marine biologist kids? to,
Yeah,
like, look
yeah,
at?
yeah. I think like might be like a bird or some
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
wildlife sanctuary type of thing. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I remember going out there, and it was before I knew how to play guitar, but Leonard did. And we went out, and he was like, yo, just check out this new guitar I got. And I was like, whoa, so cool. It was like a cheap guitar. But he was like, he played like a Green Day song or something. And I was like, oh my God. Like,
What song?
it was When I Come Around.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was really easy, 4 chords. And we were just, I was tripping out, man. Like that was like, it blew my mind. I was like, I just went to the other side of the island.
Yeah.
And because, dude, I was raised Mormon and very sheltered.
Mm-hmm.
Not sheltered, but just like, I was raised by my grandmother who was taking care of her mom. And it was just kind of like, that's what's up. Like, I'm not really trying to like shake the boat too much.
Right,
like,
right.
My grandma already raised kids and now she's raising me.
And you love your grandma.
I do. And so, yeah. So when that came up, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. And we like went out, got on the boat, went to Coconut Island. Like, I think we stayed there for like a couple days. And it was just like blew my
And
mind.
you couldn't believe that's like right outside your back door.
Yeah.
There's a very real thing, like, where in Hawaii you don't want to like go anywhere besides like where you are. And like when I lived in Florida right before I moved to Hawaii, I was at first living in Orange Park at my mom's house, and I had a job at Jack's Beach. That's a 45-minute drive. In passing, and like looking back even further, I went to high school an hour away from my house.
No way.
Yeah, because I switched high schools my senior year, and
Jeez.
then my new high school was an hour away. But the thing was, it was like whatever, like used to it, like whatever. And like especially when I was like, not 21 yet, I was like 19, going to bars and stuff. I had no problem freaking driving 30 minutes to like our Chinatown is like King Street, driving to King Street and like going out and like driving all the way back. I'm like one-eyeing it on the highway. Don't do that. Like I had no problem doing that whatsoever. And like we used to like, and I didn't live near the beach in high school, so we used to have to drive like almost an hour to the beach, and like we would do that two, 3 days in a row. Now the idea of me driving to North Shore right now, I'm like, oh God,
Yeah,
I don't think I've been
that's
in
a
North
whole
Shore in
day.
2 years.
Are you serious?
I don't think, because like I'm totally victim of the whole like idea and why, like I don't want to drive anywhere that's not 5 minutes away, 10 minutes at most, and like the idea of driving in North Shore right now is like, all right, well, what time do I have to work? Like it's a whole thing. Whereas like when I was living in Florida, I would literally like drive an hour to the beach, be at the beach for a little bit, and then come back, take a shower, go to work, which my job was also 20 minutes away from my house.
That's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Like it was nothing. There's something about Hawaii that you're like, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think it is something about Hawaii. Because when I lived in LA for a little while, everything is an hour away.
Yeah.
Every single thing is an hour away. Last time we were there, KK's like, I want to go shopping at this place. I want to go to this place. I want to go to this place. And I'm like, that's more than a day's worth of doing things.
Yeah.
Like with the traffic and the times of day, dude, oh my God. It was, and I mean, we tried, we went down, there was like this cool little, I never really went downtown in LA when I lived there. I was super broke and I was like, why would I go there? You need to have money to do anything fun. But there was this cool little sneaker shop that I found.
Of course.
Yeah, it was. I found this pair of.
KK's face is the best. She just comes by every now and then.
I found these pink and green Jordan 1s, and that was the first pair of shoes that spawned me getting like I was like, oh wait, I got these shoes, now I want to get these shoes, now I want to get these shoes. It's kind of ridiculous, but
Hit up Nick Danger for all your shoe needs.
I'm obsessed. Ugh. I can't stop. I don't know if I want to stop. I feel like I kind of want to stop.
I feel like your shoe obsession is the only thing that's lasted through all the other obsessions.
Well, music is the only real one
That's true.
that's ever really
But there was like
lasted.
Snake Bar, and there's the push-ups. Now there's the podcast.
Yeah.
But the shoes have been there the whole time, and music though. But
Yeah. Now it's like, so I was like running for a while.
oh yeah, I forgot about the running obsession too.
And but then when Nate and Rachel moved over, before Rachel moved to Maui, we'd go surfing a bunch, and then
Oh,
they
yeah,
came
yeah, I
back,
remember that.
and so she's like, let's go surf. So finally, last week, they're like, let's go surfing on this day, and I was like, okay. So we went, and then I was like, why have I, like, it's been like probably a year since I surfed last before that, and I'm like, why have I not been doing this? Because I just get into these grooves of things. It's like bike riding, running. Now, like my buddy Erica, who was on the podcast last time, hit me up and was like, hey, you still been running? And I was like, no, but I have been surfing like a ton. So
Is
at
it
least
Erica
I'm doing
from
something.
Black Cat?
Yeah.
I don't think I've watched that one yet. I know her.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm like, at least I'm doing something like active, hopefully, because if not, like when I was painting, that was what I was spending a bunch of hours a day
Right.
doing, but it definitely wasn't active. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
yeah.
I like to try and keep whatever obsession I have.
Yeah, like
some sort of-
benefiting you physically.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully, but yeah, the surfing one is like that one's
That's cool. That's cool. You're surfing it. I've only ever surfed once in Hawaii.
Damn.
I don't really know how to surf.
Well,
But
I mean, it's kind
it
of
was like Waikiki. It was like my second week living here, and my fiance at the time tried to take me out to teach me because he was like, he's from Daytona, so he like surf all the time as like a lifeguard, whatever. And you just don't need to ever learn how to do anything physical from your partner.
Oh,
Because
totally.
it was just absolutely horrible. Like to the point where like out there in like Waikiki, like longboards, and like I got up a couple times, so it was cool, it was fun. But it was one of those things where like his family's really like water sports oriented, and I've been good at every other single one. Like I had skied with it, like water skied with his family. I had like wakeboarded, and like I was good immediately. But surfing, I just wasn't like immediately good at, and so he like lost his patience with me because his whole family is just like they're all super active
rough.
water sports. So I'm like out there like sitting on the longboard in like the middle of the ocean, like okay, and like he's just like surfing next to me. I'm like, oh okay, and that was like my last experience with surfing.
When my buddy told me he was going to teach me how to surf, and I already like I'd surfed as a kid, but I hadn't for years and years and years and years and years. And my buddy's like, come on, we'll just go out. And I used to bodyboard as a kid, and I had like surfed a couple times. And he's like, I'll take you out. We'll go to Diamond Head. And Diamond Head's like, I don't know if Diamond Head's probably the best place to take a beginner. Mm-hmm. And but he was like, all right, just surf. Like he didn't really like kind of coach me, which was fine. And like I think like midway through, like we were out there for a couple hours, and midway through he came up and he's like, do this instead. And I was like, okay. And but similar situation, like he was just like surfing his ass off. Yeah. And then I was like trying, and he's like, sit here instead. Okay, go here. Oh, do this. Like, here, look, here's a channel, so when you paddle out, do this. But like it almost needs to be that way. Like,
well, I got lucky because of this like old man who like saw me like struggling. He came up and he like helped me out. So that's why I rode a couple waves, just because like he helped me out. He's like, okay, stand up now. Oh, you got it.
There you go. Yeah, it's hard too, because if you're gonna teach somebody to surf and you're actually gonna spend that time with them, you're not going to do any surfing at all yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that was a problem too. So he had gotten out to Hawaii a week before me, and I told him, I was like, look, you just go do what you want to do. When I get there, then we'll start looking for houses. But that's not how it went down. So he didn't really experience anything without me, like for the first time. And he's a water kid. Like he got stationed in Hawaii, or options like England or Hawaii. And of course, like we went to Hawaii because he's like, grew up in the water.
Yeah.
And he didn't do anything without me. So when I got out here and he's like, oh, this is my first time doing this, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna hold you back. Come on.
Well, that's an interesting thing too, because I love to go snowboarding, and I made the mistake, I think 2 or maybe even 3 times. It's like after the second time I should have wised up, but I would take girlfriends snowboarding that did not know how to snowboard at all, and I would be like, all right, I'll teach you. But the thing is like I'm out there trying to snowboard.
Yeah, you're trying to have a good time too. Yeah.
And it's like, and snowboarding's like, that's an expensive day of, if I'm going to be trying to teach, like, especially like coming from Hawaii, right? You're like, you got to fly there,
right?
Get the car, get the snowboarding stuff, get the lift tickets, all that. And so like, yeah, that situation was a terrible. I'm like, don't teach your girlfriend how to do this thing. Like,
don't teach your partner anything or get taught by your partner anything.
Yeah, that was rough. I mean, that was. Unless you're way patient, I don't know if I'm that patient.
My thing is, it's not about like if you're patient, but like your partner, that's the one person that you can like just like fully express yourself and like your frustrations to. Like there's like, I mean, obviously there's like, I don't know, filters, but I know poor Gabe, I like have no freaking filter with him. Like this is how I'm feeling exactly. No sugarcoating, whatever. So I think the problem is like it doesn't matter how patient you are. It's like you're with the person that you're gonna like completely be honest with.
Yeah.
So like it like kind of like hinders like the whole teaching process, because like as soon as like one gets frustrated, whether it's the student or the teacher, it's like I'm gonna freaking tell you.
Yeah, because if my buddy who took me surfing, if that was like a boyfriend or a girlfriend type situation, I would have been like, hey, what the hell, dick?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Like, oh, you're just gonna leave me? But if it's like someone who like
but since it was just my buddy, right. I was like, fuck it. I struggled through it.
Okay, bye.
I like, yeah, I kind of just like, I was like, all right, well, this is what's happening. I'm just gonna make it work, Whereas like, I think that's how it would be though too. If I did take a buddy snowboarding and I taught him, and I'd basically just be like, all right, just do this, and I'll see you at the bottom.
There you go.
And after 2 days of snowboarding, he had like a bruise the size of like a fucking huge pancake on his butt.
I've never seen that much snow ever in my entire life.
Like enough snow to snowboard on?
Yeah, no, not even enough snow to sled on. I've never seen.
Damn.
So I don't want to say I've never seen snow, because I was in Boston like 5 years ago, the first 2 weeks of December. And I was like, I'm gonna see snow. It was cold enough to snow. I went to like a Patriots game and like froze my ass off because I wore like Vans.
Oh my God.
I wore thick socks like Vans. So I had like those like pocket warmers like everywhere, like in my hat, in my pockets, in my shoes, under my armpits. I was like freezing.
Well, if you've never even seen snow, damn, yeah,
So,
that's like
yeah.
cold.
And then finally one morning when I was there, it finally like flurried. And my boyfriend and his mom like came over. She's like, snow, Jasmine, snow. So like run outside, and it's like these little like pieces of snow. And as soon as they hit my hand,
Water.
melt. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then
So
like
they weren't sticking to the ground.
no,
either.
and they're like sticking to my eyelashes and stuff, and like then gone. So I was like, oh, snow, okay. And then there was one day too that we woke up and there was like a thin layer on the grass, but it was like nothing.
Yeah.
But Jacksonville snowed like that before too, like the year before I was born, and then I think like '97, so I was like 6. It snowed there too, but it was the same. It wasn't like really snow. It was like slush.
Yep. One time, it snowed when I was in elementary school in California, in like San Leandro, which is right next to Oakland, and it was just the tiniest bit of snow, but everybody was like, "It's snowing!"
Yeah,
and
of
I was like,
course.
"Whoa, this is crazy!" And then,
And now that you've actually seen real snow, you're like, oh.
oh, dude, I love
Yeah,
the snow.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I mean, I do know. I moved from Florida to Hawaii. There's like no, that's like.
Do you want to go to the snow? Like, do you have a
I don't
desire
ever
for
want
it?
to live there in the
No,
snow, but I would
wouldn't
love to. Yeah, I would absolutely love to. Actually, I nannied CM2 kids for like 3 years. They're like my second family. Used to do, like holidays with them and stuff, and they ended up getting stationed in Salt Lake City, and they asked me to move with them, and I was like contemplating it, but
Oh,
it was
that's
like
wild.
yeah. Well, I mean, I was like part of their family. They were on the Marine base in Kaneohe. So yeah, I contemplated for a while, and like I was like, trying to convince myself, because like one of the main things at this point I didn't know Chinatown.
Yeah.
So one of the main things missing out of my life was like any kind of scene. And I was like, well, you know, if I go to Salt Lake City, like every band stops in Salt Lake City. Every band I could ever imagine in my entire life.
A couple cool little clubs.
Yeah, we'll stop there. It's like a major city, like on tours and crap. I was like, that's a good idea. And then I was like, I don't think I can live in the snow. And ultimately I didn't go because like I don't handle cold well. Jacksonville, you wouldn't know this, but Jacksonville gets really, really cold in February. Like really cold. Like I think the lowest I remember ever being was like 48.
Yeah, that's pretty cold.
Like my stepdad used to do the cutest thing. He like put the sprinkler on it the night before it was supposed to be a big freeze, and he'd make icicles on the trees in our backyard.
Whoa,
My
that's
stepdad's
cool.
the cutest ever.
That's
He used to
cool.
do that for us, so he'd be like, "Girls, icicles," and like run out and like pull them off the trees and stuff. But no, it gets really, really, really cold there, and even then, I'm like miserable when it's that
Oh,
cold.
dude. When me and John we did this trip when we went to New York, and then we went to Minneapolis, and then we went to the Bay.
Mhm.
That was like what? Like that was.
I was
It was in
working.
November.
Yeah, we were already buddies at that point.
Yeah, so like, we get to New York, and it was cold as fuck, and I was like, I didn't bring enough jacket.
Oh yeah, I
Like
remember you telling me
I
this.
had like a small hoodie, and I was like, this is ridiculous. And so luckily, a buddy let me borrow a jacket, and then we get to, and that was like, it was maybe like in the 40s, 50s. Then we get to Minneapolis, and it's in the teens,
Oh god, this sounds
and
horrible
it
to
was
me.
like, it just into your bones, and going to a punk show where it's
Yes,
freezing outside.
and then it's so hot inside.
It's so hot inside, and I was like, well, this is ridiculous.
That's crazy. I can't even
It was
imagine.
the worst. I mean, it was awesome. I had a blast, but like, and you just get drunk and you don't even care anymore.
Right.
But I would walk outside and immediately just be like, and like have to like layer up real quick.
Yeah.
And I hate being too cold, and I hate being too hot.
Yeah, dude.
So, like-
I used to always think that like being too hot was okay, but like after this Florida trip we just got back from, I know I saw her. That's why I was laughing when you were talking.
Blanche
Lance in her
in a
little
dress.
dress.
Oh my god.
She's just like posed right
Just
now.
staring at us. It's so funny.
No, but Florida being so hot, I always thought that, like I could never be warm enough, and then this Florida, I'm like, oh, I can definitely be warm enough. Like that's too much.
Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons I want to go back to Florida in February or March, is so I can, because now that I've tortured Gabe with how hot it is in Florida,
Oh, God.
I want to take him when it's cold.
It's gonna be freezing.
It'll be cute.
Well, it's not that bad though.
No,
I
it's-
love
it's-
going places
it's
that
not
it's
that bad.
cold.
I like visiting places cold. That was the other thing. So Boston. So I was in Boston for 2 weeks. It was cold enough to snow and little flurries. I literally flew back to Hawaii. The day after I landed, the snowstorm started because it's like 4.5 years ago, to the point where everyone was snowed in and could not go to freaking school because it was snowed in.
You
2
would've-
days after I left.
Yeah, you would have seen some damn.
I
snow.
would have I would have got stuck here and hung out in the snow for a little bit just because I'd never done it before.
It's so fun. I was so envious of seeing my friends when they were living in Portland, and they would first of all they get to go snowboarding all the time.
Right.
But then one time I think my buddy Kanan had a 4-wheel drive Mini Cooper, and they would tow each other snowboarding in the streets.
Yeah.
And like I saw this video that they like made a hill down some stairs. I think they were just using like shitty boards, you know,
Yeah.
to fuck them up. But like, and then made a little ramp to jump. I don't know what it was exactly.
Yeah.
But it was like down these stairs and over this curb or this hedge or something. And I was like, oh, it looks like so much fun.
Let me get real redneck on you. So back in Florida, we don't give a fuck about anything, and hurricanes are not a big deal. I just talked to my mom, by the way. She's not worried about. There's a hurricane going like straight for Florida, like up the coast. It's in the Bahamas, like Freeport right now, but it's gonna go up. Like St. Augustine Beach started to evacuate. Jacksonville Beach, their last liquor sales at 10 o'clock tonight, and they're done because Floridians are so nuts that they have to cut off the liquor when there's a hurricane because we throw hurricane parties, and there's more DUIs and like people getting hurt in stupid ways when there's like a huge hurricane warning because Floridians are dumb.
Nobody has to work.
I love my people, but so when we were younger and there was a big hurricane, there was 2006, I think there was like 7 hurricanes that went straight over Orange Park, which is my little like neighborhood outside of Jacksonville. So like that year, the senior shirt said like I survived hurricane season 2006. There's 7 hurricanes.
Damn.
So I had actually been over at my girlfriend's house. I think I was like 7th or 8th grade. I was over at my girlfriend's house, and all of a sudden the streets were closed. So I just lived with my friend for a week and a half.
Damn.
And my mom was, and like the power was out, and we're just like whatever. But the thing is with Floridians,
The phone still work?
cell phones. We had generators. Every house in Florida has generators and stuff.
So you could get a hold of people.
Yeah, I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I live here now.
Can't get home.
Yeah, there's no way. And like no power and like board games and like whatever, the generator for like.
You could really get screwed if you didn't have enough food.
But the thing is, everything in Florida is dirt cheap. So like every house I've ever lived in, my stepmom is like the best prepper for that kind of stuff. We always have an extra like pantry like in the garage or something.
Yeah,
that's
you
just
better, huh?
stocked
Right.
with like dry goods that are like non-perishables, whatever. But anyways, that particular year I was at her house and I had to live there for a week. And like we like got like the wakeboards out and like the boogie boards out and like tied into the back of the truck because like everything was flooded, all the like grassy yards. There's no hills in Florida. I mean, there's no mountains. It's flat as fuck. But we used to like build our own and like, so you're saying the snowboarding, but we did this like just the rain. It's like pouring torrential rain.
That's so fun.
And I'm on the back of a truck, like 13 years old, on a boogie board, like being like drugged across the grass.
When I was in
Rednecks are crazy.
When I was in Kauai last, it was there was this crazy storm. I don't know if you remember seeing it, but there was these pictures of a buffalo on the beach.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was there during that. What happened?
Damn.
It poured so hard that this ranch got flooded out, and all the animals got kind of like washed out down the river.
To the beach.
And they got saved. I mean, they found them, but it was pretty wild. Like
That's crazy. Can you
there's this
imagine?
crazy picture of a buffalo standing on the beach in Kauai. Well, anyways, we're in Princeville, so we're like, it's high up, so it wasn't gonna flood, and staying in this like vacation rental, and there were boogie boards, and I was like, I mean, this is just like last year, but I was like, I just felt like a little kid out in the rain.
Oh, I do remember like seeing your
It was
videos.
so
and stuff.
fun. It was so fun. I love doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I always get excited when I see people at the beach doing slip and slides. I'm like, ah.
Dude, so I was gonna say that my senior skip day, we took a bunch of trash bags to the beach because St. Augustine Beach you can drive on. It's huge, like there's like sand dunes and a giant drive on beach. So we went to St. Augustine. We made a slip and slide going into the ocean.
It's the best.
So fun. You definitely get all like tore up from the sand on your stomach and stuff. Super fun. And then, but when my mom told me today, I was literally on the way here, I was on the phone with her and she was saying they're cutting off the liquor sales. And I was like, Mom, do you know how many hurricane parties I've thrown? That's what Floridians do. We tape up because we're already ready. Like, we're always ready. It's like always on perishables and stuff. Like, tape your windows. You just get hammered.
Damn.
That's what you do.
Was they like they closed the stores because.
They don't close the stores. They just cut off liquor sales
Oh wow.
because people do dumb shit in Florida when they're drunk and there's a
So
hurricane.
Crazy. That kind of. Damn. Yeah, that sucks though.
Yeah, that's what I told my mom. I was like, what the hell? She's like, don't worry. Everyone's going to clean out everything.
That's so crazy.
It's like, you know, here, remember like we had like a hurricane a year ago here.
Yeah.
And it was like when Dallas did his metal night show. And so like 6 metalhead kids showed up in the middle of a hurricane.
Wait, 6 people showed up?
6 people showed up.
Oh
Hell
my
yeah.
God.
For metal night. There was a couple other people that weren't there for metal night, but like, but remember that time like all the water was gone?
I'm trying to remember what I was doing. I don't know.
This was yeah, it was about a year ago. I know Gabe and I, like his mom got us a bunch of water, but we like filled up this like big bin, like storage bin with water, so in case the water went out, we could flush the toilet still.
Yeah, that's smart.
But
That's
yeah.
something. That's a good one to think about
You
because
know what-
I was hearing about people filling up the tub, and I was like, what?
But no one
Why
has a
would-
tub in Hawaii.
Yeah,
No one has a freaking tub.
yeah. I got like this little fake, like you could fill that, right? But it's only like what, like a few gallons of water.
Leela knows that that tub can like be filled with water because the hurricane. So now we don't have a tub at our new place, and she's like, "But Auntie Jasmine, I can just put the bin in there, and then I can take a bath. I can do a bath." Like she likes like swimming around. So she's small enough still. She'll fit in this like little tub. But anyways, but you know like that period of time, everyone like cleaned the water out of everywhere. You couldn't get water anywhere.
Yeah.
It was insane. That's what happens with beer in Florida.
Damn, that's crazy.
You can't get beer anywhere.
It's funny that regional things that people will buy up, right? Because over here it's like spam. Obviously, water is smart, but being on an island, it's just so much different than like if in Florida, if it did come to it and it was bad, I suppose the relief would be able to get there pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas here,
Yeah,
who
absolutely.
knows,
We're
you
like
know,
all the way across an ocean.
I don't really freak out when they I used to freak out as a kid real bad because
Yeah.
the first thing that we did was we moved here and it was Hurricane Iniki, which was I think that was what was that, John, like 92 or something?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Tori made a hurricane drink and named it Iniki.
Oh, that's pretty good. It's been long enough, I think.
That's what I was like, is this offensive? He's like, no.
I don't
it's
think.
good.
But it was it was bad and it definitely, it destroyed the cocoa palms or was that evil one of the hurricanes destroyed this classic hotel that was on Kauai and it's still down and you can you can see like old menus from and like the prices are so low because it was such a long time
Right.
ago, and stuff like that. And but man, it's just I wonder if that place was still around, if it would be as awesome or if it's just I think it's so awesome because you drive by and it's all broken down.
Oh,
And
you
it's
think like that's the appeal?
oh,
Is like
man,
it's like what used to be there.
because it's used to be. It's
Right.
not still there anymore. But I don't know. But the hurricane, there were a couple that hit and they were pretty shitty. But I mean, I don't really even prep or anything. I think
Yeah. It like took a while for the last one for us to prep. I don't know. Coming from Florida, we don't really do it. We're used to it.
But I have so many supplies, but it's just not just food is what I don't have. Like I always have gas cans.
That's what Gabe and I. So remember the missile
yeah.
scare, whatever. And like right after that, there was like a resurgence of like people like posting like preparedness, like things you should have, and like what they like you should have enough food for 2 weeks. And Gabe and I were like, we never have enough food for 2 weeks because we're really bad about grocery shopping for that meal. So like we never have enough food for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And like that's what you're supposed to have. Like if something happened, dude, that was nuts. That fucking missile scare.
What did you do?
Nothing. I slept through the whole thing.
Oh, you missed it?
So Gabe, at this point in our relationship, Gabe was like always had alarms set early. He would never wake up to. Now he knows better, but he always and so like I got into this habit of waking up just pissed, like turn your fucking alarm off, like whatever.
Totally.
So my phone, I don't know because maybe it's a Florida number, it's behind. My phone didn't get the alert, but his did.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
wrote and I was like, Gabe, turn your fucking alarm off, and I ignored it without reading it. And just like shut it up, and we went to sleep. And then what time was the thing? It was like
Pretty early.
It was like 4 hours later we woke up.
Yeah.
Finally, and then I like looked at my phone because I'd finally gotten the alert, and it was like missile attack. Just kidding. And I was like, what the? Like, we would have slept the whole thing. We would have never known.
That's so.
We
crazy.
would have never known because I was like, get your alarm off.
That's so crazy.
We have friends though, that he's like this like nerdy white guy. He's awesome. He's so awesome. But he's this nerdy white guy who like works in like computer and like programming and like following like algorithms and stuff. But he's just like he's very like type A, like organized. And when they have a baby, who at the time was like only like maybe 8-9 months. And so when the alarm went off, they already were like had a prepared like sack, grab their crap. And they live in Kaneohe, but like right off of the Poly. So they like parked at the end of the Poly and then went up, and in between the tunnels there's like this little like space. It's an emergency space, and they went in there because if something actually happened,
my God.
yeah, insane. With their 9-month-old baby, they went in there and like were like ready, like fucking ready, like they would have been good to go. And like one other couple went in there and like they were like, oh, do you guys have iodine pills? Like all this, like these are like preppers, but not like
Damn.
crazy, like, you know, like apocalypse crap, but like these guys are like preppers.
Pretty quick. That's pretty on it.
And then they said like within an hour or so of it going off, the cops came in there like, hey guys, you're safe, you're fine. Because they already were expecting people to go there. There's like it's like a stairs down in between the two tunnels in the Bali.
Damn. That's wild.
I was like, whoa, it's Gabe, we would have died.
Yeah. I would hope to die first because if
Right.
there's a couple different ways it could go, right? Like if it was going to be like say it was a nuke that was going to blow up before it hit land and then spray all over, then everybody would be totally fucked,
Right.
and we'd all be getting radiation. Or if it hit, like, you know, I forget what they said the blast radius was, like 20 miles or something. But who knows where it would hit and who knows
Exactly.
how accurate it's going to be. So if it hit on this side of the island, but you were, you know, if you were in town and you're like, oh, quick, let's get to the other side of the island, and then it hits there, I still think you'd be better off to die right away.
I think you would
if
too, because the
not-
radiation would fuck you up.
Yeah.
Hills
so-
have eyes in this bitch.
Dude, I would definitely prefer to die right away if there was going to be a missile hit, or if it hit in the water,
Oh God, no.
and then you just never get to go to the beach. Well, either way. I mean,
Well,
either
I'm
way.
glad. I'm just thankful that Gabe and I are pieces of shit who sleep through everything, and we would have just died peacefully in our sleep.
Yeah, I woke up, and I wasn't too stoked for that 20 minutes. It was not fun.
Yeah,
But-
I hear those stories and like I can't even imagine like what I would have felt if I'd actually read it.
Ugh.
Like, you know, I can't even imagine. And it's funny too because like I was like, Gabe, the time we were at Gabe's old apartment in Kaimaki, which is all cement walls, I was like, we probably would have been okay for like a week at least.
Ugh.
And it was just even like weirder to think about.
Ugh. And then you just fall apart.
But
Like,
we would have run out of food.
Yeah. Well, then, but you just start falling apart probably. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
your body would just.
Oh, gross. Okay.
Anyways, well, let's wrap this up. Thanks for coming. Cheers.
Oh, I already finished all of my beers.
Well, water cheers. I had like a sip.